Hey folks, how you all doing? So today I'm going to do a video just showing some records in my collection. I'm just going to show the vinyl records I have of American singer-songwriter Neil Sedaka and what I have in my record collection. I only have about 10 studio albums, 5 or 6 compilation albums, but they're interesting none the least. There's fans out there who might be pleased that someone is making a video about Neil Sedaka. He started in the late 1950s. I think he started off as a session musician. One of his earliest things he recorded was backing vocals on the original Lion Sleeps Tonight video with the Whim Away thing. Then he started writing songs with Carole King. That's what Oh Carol was written for Carole King. Carole King ended up writing an answer song back called O'Neill. Hers wasn't a hit. His was a big hit. He's written a couple of hundred songs that have been chart entries in the US, either on his own or songs he's written for other people. I have nominated him for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction for probably every year for the last decade. I think he deserves to be in there simply because of his contributions towards rock music through the late 50s, the 60s, 70s and into the early 80s. I think he deserves that. I think he's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, but I think he does deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just because of what he did in the early days of rock and roll and into the early 60s there as well. He deserves to be in there in my opinion. So yeah, I nominate him every year, hoping he gets in before he dies. He's well in his 80s now. He's still touring the US, albeit small tours. That's just a bit of background on Neil Sedaka. He's been married since he was about 18, I believe. 18, 19, maybe 20 at the latest. Still been married to the same woman. They've got 6 kids. So yeah, one of the last stalwarts of one marriage for life, basically, which doesn't happen very often in the entertainment industry. But anyway, I'll just show you a few of my records I have in my collection. There's one there. His album tracks are as good as his singles, in my opinion. He's like Carole King and Carly Simon. The singles aren't the standout tracks on albums, it's consistency, and he has very high consistency of quality of stuff. As you can see, Stupid Cupid's on there. It's a song he wrote, as we all know. I'm sure if you see a lot of these tracks on these albums that I'm going to show you, you will see them, you'll go, oh my god, I know that song, but not by him. He wrote a hell of a lot of songs, as I said, for other people who had hits with it. I guess you could compare him to Willie Nelson in a lot of ways as a songwriter far before he became a singer in his own right. Like Albert Hammond as well. Many songs written for other people. And these are all the original albums from the 60s and 70s. There's a couple of 80s albums in here. Sorry about the glare. It's a beautiful spring day here in Australia. And yeah, it's about 24 degrees Celsius. Weather heating up. Over the next couple of days, it'll be in the mid to high 30s degrees Celsius temperatures by the end of next week. I think Neil Sedaka's actually released more. There's been more compilation albums of Neil Sedaka's released than studio albums, I believe. So if you pause these and you look at the songs, you go, as I said, you know, oh my god, I didn't realise that was his song or whatever. But yeah, My actual favourite song of Neil Sedaka's was a song that was only ever released in Australia as a single. Not that that's got any bearing on it or anything. It's called Wheeling, West Virginia. It's from the town where he was born. You know how he went across to Hollywood, etc., and became a star, and you know, tried to remain loyal and true to who he was that whole time. Even with all the temptation that was there with the girls and the money and the booze and the drugs, and you know, that's a really good song, Wheeling, West Virginia. If you've never heard it, go and check it out. Sorry to waffle on, guys. I'll give you a bit of background into Neil Sedaka, and then I'm showing you all these albums. There's not really that much to say other than show you the albums, and I don't want to sit here just being absolutely numb. But as you can see, there's a bit of dust on these albums, but they are very, very good condition. They're all playable. I've inherited a few singles from my parents over the years. Quite a lot of singles, but a few Neil Sedaka's in that as well, like One Way Ticket, for example, which there was a disco version of that in the late 70s, early 80s. And Run Samson Run and things like that. Not major hits for him, but this one's actually got a gatefold, so it's got all these lyrics in there. Sorry about the glare again, folks, but this was actually a video I was going to make 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I couldn't find my Neil Sedaka records at that stage. I've obviously found them again now. I think this one may have been a radio station copy at one point, because radio stations in Australia tended to have these stickers on them, because it was a code of where they belonged in what order, and because they were known by numbers as opposed to artists. So but yeah, if you're a fan of Neil Sedaka, or haven't heard too much of his stuff, go and buy a couple of compilations. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the pop, the light, happy pop of Neil Sedaka. So it's actually got another one of my favourite songs on it, in Bad Blood, over this side over here. 3-minute track, Laughter in the Rain, Solitaire, all great songs from the 1970s on there. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry to bore you for the last 8 minutes about Neil Sedaka. He's an artist who doesn't get much love in the vinyl community. I never see videos about the guy. You know, it's a shame, because he was one of the seminal songwriters of the early rock era. He made a lot of great songs in his own right without other people singing his songs. And it's just a shame he doesn't get the, I guess, you know, he's very underrated, very underrated. He doesn't get the love he deserves in the music industry as a whole, but I think he really should, and he should be in that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So guys, if you ever vote for people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, please vote for Neil Sedaka. Would love him to get him before he passes, because I said he's in his late 80s now, and he really does deserve to be there. One of the seminal artists of the early rock era. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, take care, all for now, catch you around, and bye folks.